Welcome to the Marty and Tavi show. I'm assuming Marty will be joining us soon. You know, she's always busy with the girls and their volleyball practice and just supporting them. So I'm sure she'll be joining us momentarily. All right. So to just jump right in, the subject of the show tonight is black symbolic victories. And many can wonder, what does that mean? Um, well, we know what black is, obviously. We know what symbolic is. It's pretty clear and to the point. Um, we've been fighting this thing, um, and it just keeps circulating. And I'm just trying to understand. Um, they have to be black symbolic victories if we continue to get all these furs that integrate places and spaces that didn't allow for black people to be in that space. Um, so anyway, what I wanted to do first, I'm gonna spend a little time with Malcolm X back in 1965, and it sounds like words of encouragement for today. So I'm gonna try to share the screen. So give me a moment to do that. Hopefully, I still have it up. Hopefully. All right, so I'll share the screen. Uh, let's see. I guess this one. Okay. Okay. And hopefully it's still on that video. And just pay attention to the screen. I did pull out some words from this speech. Interview.
Tonight, Front Page Challenge welcomes the outspoken Negro leader, Malcolm X.
Sir, what's the real reason why you two men split? Is it merely ideological or is it personality? What else?
Probably personality. It was not the statement that originally was given by the movement when we split. It's more personality than anything else.
You've called people like Martin Luther King, who just got a Nobel Peace Prize, an Uncle Tom. Is this correct? First?
Well, I'd rather say that in the States, there's a law that has recently been passed or a decision handed down by the court wherein if you call someone an Uncle Tom, they can sue you for libel.
Well,
so I never refer to them as Uncle Tom. I would say that Uncle Martin is my friend.
Uncle Martin is your friend, yet you would disagree with his approach to what he wants to accomplish.
Definitely. If his approach would bring about what the black man in America needs to completely eliminate the problem that we have, I would say well and good. But I very much doubt that anyone who adopts the approach that Martin Luther King has been teaching to our people in that country can point to any meaningful gains that has actually served to solve the problem.
Black Muslims have sometimes, whether you have or not, and I think probably you have sometimes, it seemed to me, been preaching hate to meet hate.
I don't advocate any kind of hate.
But there's a lot of talk that sounds very much like it.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate. But actually, they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
Well, that's something of an argument, but I've heard speeches made by some of the people of your group. I think I've heard you make speeches. It seemed to me that you were advocating what I would have to describe, I think, as violence to meet the serious injuries that have been done your people, with which I totally agree.
I don't call that violence. I don't in any way encourage black people to go out and initiate acts of aggression indiscriminately against whites. But I do believe that the black man in the United States and any human being, anywhere, is well within his right to do whatever is necessary, by any means necessary, to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of those human beings.
Just before Pierre takes it, you've got a pretty good fighter and the world's heavyweight champion lined up with you to help out. Yes, Pierre.
Well, Mr. X, if I guess I call you that, is that the proper appellation,
Yes.
Mr. X? I'm wondering if you still believe, as I think you certainly did at the time you were allied to the Black Muslim movement, in a segregated black nation in North America.
I don't believe in any form of segregation or any form of racism. I'm against any form of segregation and against racism.
Am I right in saying that the black Muslim movement, which you have left, did believe in that?
Well, Elijah Muhammad taught his followers that the only solution was a separate state for black people. And as long as I thought he genuinely believed that himself, I believed in him and believed in his solution. But when I began to doubt that he himself believed that that was feasible, and I saw no kind of action designed to bring it into existence or bring it about, then I turned in a different direction.
Are you still a Muslim yourself?
Oh, yes. I'm a Muslim. I believe in the religion of Islam, which believes in brotherhood, complete brotherhood of all people. But at the same time that I believe in this brotherhood, I don't believe in forcing my desire for brotherhood upon those who aren't willing to accept it.
Of course, I think the Christians would say that they also believe in brotherhood. What did you say to that?
I'd say they believe in it, but don't practice it.
That'd be a pretty good answer.
Sir, when the muezzin goes up in the minaret twice a day, he cries to the world, there is but one God, and he is Allah. Do you deny that there is a Christian God?
The muezzin does this 5 times a day.
5 times, and I only heard him twice.
Well, you were fortunate to hear him twice. But he does this 5 times a day, and the same God that he says that he expresses the existence of is the God that the Christians profess to believe in themselves, and the God that the Jews believe in. One God, the creator of the universe. The Muslims believe in the God that created the universe, and I think the Christians do, and the Jews do. Now, as long as all of them are talking about the creator, the Jews may call him Jehovah, and Christians may have another name for him. Those who are Arabic-speaking refer to him as Allah. Well, we believe in the same God.
Now, as the Muslim religion advances in the United States, are you modernizing it or sticking with the old faiths? For example, the complete segregation of the sexes.
I think that everything today on this earth is being modernized. Religious principles and practices, as well as political and other things.
Now, when you went to Mecca, this is a very sacred and forbidden city. I tried to get to Mecca myself and certainly didn't make it, not being a Muslim. But how would they accept you as one? You're an American. There are few American Muslims.
This is true. And by being an American and not having not being able to speak the Arabic language, I did strike a snag, a very serious snag. But I was fortunate to have been pretty well known by the officials in Arabia, and they knew too that I had accepted Orthodox Islam. It had been highly publicized in the paper, and I became a guest of the state. I was a guest of Prince Faisal, the present King Faisal, and they made it possible for me to go before the committee, Hajj committee or Hajj court, who examines you and asks you questions about your belief, and if you pass it, then you are okay to go to Mecca. But
you would have to have a translator then.
I had one. And realizing that our problem in America, that we are black Americans, and we have a problem that goes beyond religion, we formed a group known as the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And the objective of this organization, it's non-religious, number one. Any Negro can belong to it. And the objective of that organization is to bring about a condition that will guarantee respect and recognition of the 22 million black Americans as human beings. We feel that the problem, number one, of the black man in America is beyond America's ability to solve. It's a human problem, not an American problem or a Negro problem. And as a human problem or a world problem, we feel that it should be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and the United States courts and taken into the United Nations in the same manner that the problems of the black man in South Africa, Angola, and other parts of the world, and even the way they're trying to bring the problems of the Jews in Russia into the United Nations because of violation of human rights. We believe that our problem is one not of violation of civil rights, but a violation of human rights. Not only are we denied the right to be a citizen in the United States, we're denied the right to be a human being.
Mr. X, may I thank you very much for coming on our program and perhaps clearing away some of the cobwebs of misconception that some of us might have had about your belief. And I think you're a very sincere man, and it takes a lot of courage to admit a former belief is wrong, and we congratulate you for that and the service you performed tonight in giving us your views. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. Marty joined us just in time. So I know that you probably, so what I have on the screen, and I'm going to go back to the first quote. I kind of pulled out some of the things that he said. It was about a 7-minute interview that they interviewed him back in 1965. And that very interview is the very thing that's still needed right now today here in 2022. Um, One of the things that I pulled out, he said, the white man will try, well, that was just a quote that I was sharing, but the white man will try to satisfy us with symbolic victories rather than economic equity and justice. All right. So one of the main things, the person that was interviewing him asked, he baited him and MLK against each other and the differences of their views and what did, first Malcolm let him know, no, I didn't call him a name. I respect him, but I don't, agree with his approach. And this is direct quoted from what he said. He said, I very much doubt that anyone who adopts the approach that MLK has been teaching to our people can't point to any measurable gains that have actually served to solve the problem. And so it just sounded like he was saying that what he is looking for is something that directly impedes the situation and corrects it, not anything that's just going to lead the people in the same state but have others feeling that they're not in that same state. I don't know. That's my interpretation. What you think?
What you say?
All right. So another talking point was I don't so he mentioned to him about hate, basically trying to drive and say that he's preaching and teaching hate. And this was Malcolm X's response. I don't advocate any hate. I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real conditions of the black man in America. Um, you know, and so he goes on to say in that same statement, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create the conditions, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate, but they
Right.
just exposing him, for his actions, for basically still allowing what we keep saying has went away to exist, is what he
Exactly.
said. All right. Yeah. And so it's still, this is 1965. So we have to answer this man. Obviously, they killed him, and we're frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm frozen. I have no controls. I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, I can't change anything. I'm not sure what's going on. We can keep talking, but this is stuck on the screen. I'm stuck. Can you see you? Do you see me moving or anything or not?
Yes. I hear
Okay.
you too.
Okay. Well, I see myself scrolling around, but again, that's stuck on the screen. I can't move anything right now, but I do have the quotes written, so I could continue on just talking. But overall, what was your, you picked the topics tonight, and that was kind of like a little filling in until you get here. But what is your take on Black symbolic victories?
Um, it's really getting played out. As you can hear, it's totally outdated. Um, you know, I guess we have this mentality of me, myself, and I. So I'm seeing how they take care of families after they unjustly kill their loved ones, and then still won't do nothing with justice and policies
Mm-hmm.
that that perpetuates this uh sidetrack.
So yeah, it's
This
like a never ending cycle, is what you
right,
said. Yeah.
exactly, and it seems like we just supposed to keep on accepting this. It's like it's time out for those symbolic victories because I mean it's not doing us any good. What we doing? Waiting till it hit our families? No, something
Right.
needs to be held accountable, put in place where they're held accountable when they can swoop up innocent black people and cage them for stuff they didn't do. I mean, people actually on camera, you know. So it's like, give
Right.
me a break.
Right.
So, with the I guess confirming of this new judge. What is that when Clarence Thomas is a black man as a judge? He ain't shit. He ain't do nothing for us.
Yeah.
He's not. And she's going to be the same. Her husband is white. She's going to be the same. She ain't finna do nothing.
Oh, she has a
You
white
know.
husband attached to her. I didn't know that.
Yes. Mhm. So you know, clearly, if you gotta look outside of us, that's it.
Yeah.
So
Well, and everybody's always celebrating first. I mean, I'm happy and excited when they do put the black faces in position because it does create an image of diversity, even if it's not actually that.
right.
And so to me, that's something, but that's not enough. So I'm not like satisfied with the symbolic victories, but I do know that they are necessary because it does bring about black visibility, which is highly needed in a lot of those spaces that's pretty much running our country.
But
Um,
we are per saying first, and Clarence Thomas is on the one of the chief justice. So therefore, obviously, it don't matter first or not. Somebody
mhm,
black is on it. But I mean, what is he doing for black people? And
right,
we make it seem like they supposed to do something solely for us, when in reality, like Malcolm X said, it's like you're not even a part of this country.
right.
Out the blue, how much they give Ukraine already? No bipartisan. I mean, I didn't, I didn't hear any talks of bipartisan agreement on what's going to happen. Just here it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you sit back and you see what this country can do. It do what it want for who it want. You
Hmm.
know, and it's time out for those symbolic and just do right by us. And this should be that scripture coming to pass about 400 years walking around serving them.
Are you talking about in Ezekiel or Daniel? Because I know somebody was saying we need to read that because they said
Genesis.
this is prophecy field. Okay, so yours is coming from Genesis. You know which chapter, or you don't really know?
Genesis 15,
Uh huh.
13, and 14. Chapter 15, verses 13 and 14.
Let me see if I can pull that up, and we'll see what it says because it's definitely something we've been hearing about for a long time, and I'm like, okay, that sounds familiar. Genesis
Well, she
15.
it said 400 years you will walk around serving, enslaved, serving, and somehow we supposed to have victory. We done passed the 400-year mark.
And we still somehow still stuck in
You hear
bondage.
me? So
Well,
for the
I
Bible
mean,
scholars,
it might have not been a completely accurate estimate, but hopefully, um, it's close because we do see things being fulfilled that had been, prophesied or people say predicted, whatever you want to use, previously of something where it's not a complete shock to us of what's going on right now. So, you still there?
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, and so, we're going to continue to have symbolic victories. I don't even know where she came from as far as I miss whoever died or how that seat even came available. I guess I haven't been following uh the politics closely enough, but I miss whoever that was. But hopefully she go in there and at least be a fair judge. Is all we really can ask for her. We can't ask her really to be a black judge, and I know that, but it just seems that and,
Why?
and
Why? They're all white judges. Why we
okay,
can't?
okay, so
Everybody.
because we are fair people and we believe that
We are
what
ignorant ass people. That's what we are.
we're fair, and I'm saying we're fair people because like that's just by nature. We try to move morally, and our spirituality within us don't allow us to do too much icky evil stuff. That's why we never, although we've had, and I'm saying we as an African people have, even when they did have the power of the civilizations, they wasn't bullying like this. Like this is something different when it comes to racism and all of this. It had always been opposing tribes and stuff like that, but um yeah, our people just haven't moved indecently evil in that way like that. So that's what I'm saying. We're still not going to do it even when people spite us, and that's
Because
I'm going. No, we're not ignorant. I think we believe, and we believe in a higher power that, again, when that prophecy comes to pass, things will happen the way it's supposed to happen. Until then, um, we are the people of
anyway,
we're the people of perseverance. I'm just saying. I try to see it on the bright side, because if I seen it for what it really is, and I do see it for what it is, and I see what you see, but I would drive myself crazy, because I have to make some kind of reason out of it. And so, yeah, our people don't fight back like they need to. But they were fighting back. But when they started fighting back, they had that gun technology and all the power of the government. So they just kept killing them. And I think it worked. I think it worked for them to calm down. So, I mean, but it doesn't stop you and I to fight, but we only two. So, that's how they do. They chop you off two by two. It was an era of Malcolm X and Martin and some others that maybe not as popular as them, leading people, and they made sure, like, got rid of them selectively, but they went away. And so imagine if we could start back from 1965 with all the symbolic victories. So I don't want none of the symbolic victories to go away. Like, I'm not denoting the symbolic victories per se. But what I do see in the symbolic victories, we can't be satisfied with symbolic victories, because that's not it. All those really do is give us the Black visibility. Even in political elections, that's the same thing. People, right? Go ahead, I'm listening.
not to say that.
Yeah, and so I mean, so politically, in corporations, wherever, we have these Black symbolic victories, which like I said, I like the term Black faces, because essentially that's all they're doing, is being Black representation within that organization of whatever that is. And so when we think about Black symbolic victories, and we know that it's not enough, where is it? All these words that Malcolm X just spoke on in this little 7-minute interview that he did is the very things that I can see clearly right now that's still needed. Why haven't it happened? That was a question. I said, why haven't it happened? Of all these things that he spoke on, that's all cue that. So basically, what I'm saying is, I've seen all these people come and study. You still there? Okay. I've seen all these people that come and study people, trying to figure out what the problem, and he's clearly articulating the problem of today back in 1965. So you can't hear me? You hold on. I don't know. Are you still there, Marty? See, you're a box, but Marty, you there? Hello. All right. So I don't know. I don't know if let me see. Marty? Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. We were having a good discussion. Okay, so I'll see if I can get Marty back on here. I'm sorry. My computer did some weird update in the middle of everything. I do apologize. I guess I will probably download this video and edit it because some really good content in the beginning before we got interrupted. Hopefully she can join us. She sounded like she had a lot to say. So hopefully I can get her back on her. I'm gonna actually call her. I'm sorry, I did not know that thing was gonna update in the middle of this. I did see some communication for updating, but can just do it automatically. Can't get her. I don't know if she's trying to get back in. Okay. Okay, well, she probably got tired of waiting. I don't know. Mm. Yeah, she probably got tired of waiting. I'll hang on here for a minute because she was on here when I came back in, but I'm not getting her on the phone. So we're trying. Look glitches like we did in the beginning, but we'll get there. All right, so if she chooses to do this, we can always come back. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast because it doesn't take that long to flip back in if she's gonna flip in. So, all right, well, once again, our show is ending in 30 minutes. Um, there's no Marty and Taffy show without Marty, so I don't feel like talking. And you guys have a great night, and thanks for watching.